Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Prime Chelsea Talk. I am your host, George, and very soon will we have our co-host, Yusuf. He's back from his holiday today. He only got back about an hour or two ago, so he's going to be tired. So he's not come on tonight, but he will be on our show tomorrow at midday. Hopefully, we'll get a special guest on as well. That'll be very good. We've got Will first, just beating Yusuf. Will takes that one, Yusuf. Um, Unfortunately for you, Will is today's champion of the, I don't know what you want to call it, the comments race. Who knows? But today we are talking about what we talking about. I forgot. We're doing our Spurs preview. We play them this weekend, and it was I wouldn't say a tough game last week. We spoke about it in the last episode, so go check that out. Where I had a massive rant about Chelsea and everything, but overall, we could have been better for sure. But looking at the Spurs last week, they played well against Southampton, but they shouldn't have won 4-1 because Southampton, in my opinion, were much better than what the scoreline says. We're having an argument in the comments, guys. Come on. We've got a group chat for this. Do it in there. Talk to me about football, not about who was first, just about. I don't care who was first. Well, I do, but I don't at the same time, you know? But yeah, we've got Spurs this weekend. First big game of the season. Obviously, the first game of the season is always probably the toughest game of the season, considering it's the first game, competitive game that your team will play for a number of months or weeks. Used to saying we have to beat Spurs. Well, yeah, if you're looking at it in the sense of we have to beat them, we don't let them win at Stamford Bridge. In the last 40 years, they've only beaten us twice at Stamford Bridge. And yeah, Yusuf's right. We need our players to step up. I think if we perform like we performed against Everton and Spurs performed how they performed against Southampton, it'll be a close game because, like I said, Southampton looked much better than what the scoreline says. They had a lot of chances and if they took those chances, it could have been a 4-3, 4-4 game. And Spurs, being the top team that they are, unfortunately, I have to say it, they managed to, get 4 goals. They took their chances. These smaller clubs, smaller teams like Southampton, like your Forests, they're not going to take these chances as much as your Chelseas, your Liverpools, your Cities, your Spurs, your Arsenals. They're not going to do that. But if we look at I'm lost for words. If we look at the players that we've got in our team, we man for man can definitely perform against them. I think the only thing that they're better than us is their attack. Our midfield is just about better than theirs, in my opinion, and our defense is just about better than theirs, in my opinion. The only thing that they've got is probably the best attack in the league, with Kulusevski, Son, and Kane, and even Lucas Moura coming off the bench. Other players as well. Need to be careful of that Spurs front three. It's very good. Indeed, it is. But if you could sort of look at the teams man for man, I think the only area of the pitch that they beat us in quite comfortably is the attack. Obviously, our attack isn't what it used to be. We don't have a Diego Costa. We don't have a Didier Drogba. We don't have a Joe Cole. We don't have an Eden Hazard anymore. We've got Raza. I'm not going to explain who Raza is because I explained it in the last stream. We've got Raza. We've got Havertz. We've got Mount. We haven't got Werner anymore, which I feel is a bit of a loss. Good backup to have for sure, but he's gone on a permanent deal to Leipzig. I wish him the best of luck. Thank you very much, Timo Werner. Got 7:05 evening. What do you think about Spurs coming up this weekend? We need goals, says Will. Yeah, I mean, we won 1-0 last week. We get the same amount of points as everyone else. If we win 1-0 every week, we win the league. maximum points. No one else can beat you. Like, let's just say Man City win 3-0 every week, right? But we beat them 1-0 twice, and we win everyone else, right? 1-0 every week. We beat them by 6 points. That's how it is. Like, yeah, I know it's not going to happen, but from a pen, a goal is a goal, dude. And if you watched us play, we actually performed really, really well, considering Cucurella had only been in the side for 2 days. Koulibaly, his first game in the Premier League, and yeah, it was. I was quite pleased with. 5/7 says he's worried. Let me know why, mate. Let me know why. But I honestly do hope that our attack, especially Raza, can perform. Like, Raza was by far our best player on last Saturday against Everton by a country mile. I don't know why. Like, Thiago Silva played well, but he shouldn't have got the man of the match performance. It should have been Raza. Raza should have got the man of the match performance. But I'm still a bit like, are we good enough? Are we not? We're definitely good enough. We've definitely got the talent in our team. It just all relies on whether the team gel. If we still had Antonio Rudiger in that defense, everyone would still put us in that top 3. But because we don't have Antonio Rudiger, no one puts us in that top 3. You know, it's one of them things. Like, we've strengthened. We've got Koulibaly now. We've got Cucurella now. We've got Raza now. Like, Cucurella is a breath of fresh air. Was good when he came on. Yeah, definitely. 5/7 says just can't see where the goals are coming from, and Spurs looked good last week. I don't agree. Their only chink in the armor is their defense looks a little ropey. When you say Spurs look good last week, the only thing that they look good was the scoreline. But if they perform the way they did, I think we beat them because Southampton were dominant for at least 60 minutes in that game. Spurs took their chances and, blame Mariner and the board for it. Well, to be fair, I don't know. He wanted what, 300-400 grand a week or something? I wouldn't pay that. Spurs looked best out of any team last week. If they beat you at weekend, that statement, yeah, definitely. Yusuf, could you put the 1892 Reds podcast link in to the comments, please? Might be much appreciated. I know they're live in about 7 minutes. No, they played well. Could have scored more in my humble, I'm guessing you were meant to say, opinion. Yeah. But that I agree. Like, you could tell, like, and you saw when he signed and he was taking the picture with the shirt. He got, like, you could tell he wanted to show the 14-time European champions on the sleeve. He got the guy to fold it over so that the camera could pick it up and that he had signed for them. It's one of them things. Like, if we still had him, like, I feel people would still think that we're a top team because our defense would be a lot stronger with him. But I feel like because he's not there and we lost Christensen and we're about to lose Alonso potentially. We've lost Werner now. I still think we're strong. We're a strong side, Tottenham can still improve. They didn't start any new players last week. I know that was a scary thing for me. Is they won 4-1 without any of their new sign. I mean, Perisic came on and looked all right. I was a bit annoyed that he didn't get, like, the fact that they were already 4-1 up and he didn't get a goal and an assist for my fantasy team. I'm joking. Club before fantasy. That's all I want to know. Koulibaly, Silva, and whoever plays has to do a big job. Experience will come to play because the last time Thiago Silva played against Spurs, or the last few times he's played against Spurs, he's done really well. Scored at White Hart Lane last year. His experience comes in every time he plays, and he always performs against Spurs. He always performs for the most part against the big teams, especially that Champions League final before he came off injured. He was definitely our best defender. Our defense is old, has a combined age of 100. Don't matter. It don't matter. Like Ronaldo, I won't talk about Ronaldo. Thiago Silva is what, 37, 38, and he's still performing at the level. Like, I don't know who else out there. Ramos could never. I don't think. Well, I don't know that. He probably could actually. He's a top defender. Get Fofana in or Kimpembe. No, I don't want Kimpembe. I'd rather Fofana, but I don't want him for the amount of money that we're offering. But if we get him for that amount of money, I'm not going to complain because it's not my money. At the end of the day, it's not my choice to buy him for that much. So you can't come at me for us buying Fofana for that much. It's not my money. I'm not the one making the decision. But yeah, looking at last week once more. It's tough. It's tough because I watched that Spurs game on the football show for the 1892 Reds podcast football show. And Southampton did look better for the majority of the game, but they didn't take their chances. And Spurs, when they got a chance, they took it. So if we want to beat Spurs, we've got to take our chances and hope that we can limit theirs so that they don't therefore take those chances that we gift them or that they create themselves, you know. I do want Mendy's kicking to be on point. We all know, especially Yusuf, knows how bad Mendy's kicking is. It's one of them things, you know, like Mendy, good goalkeeper, good with his hands, good shot stopper. But his kicking is poor. His distribution is poor. Yeah, that's the thing. Doesn't matter who's dominant. It's just how you take your chances. That's why Spurs won last week, because they didn't really get out of third or fourth. They didn't really get anywhere near fourth gear. They cruised along, conceded the first goal, yeah, but they came back at Southampton, and with what of the ball that they had and the chances that they had, they took them. You know, and that's what Chelsea need to do. Like, if we take our chances, even if Spurs limit us to like 2 or 3 chances, if we can take at least 2 of those 3 chances and get 2 goals out of it, and limit them to a certain amount of chances, and they don't take it, then we could win, what, 2-0, 2-1, you know what I mean? It's one of them things, but that's the thing, you can never predict something like that. Like, 2015, Chelsea versus Bradford, you can never predict a game of football. Like, you can be at least 90% sure that Man City are going to beat Exeter or Spurs are going to beat Wimbledon, you know? But there's always that 10%, like Bradford, Chelsea, MK Dons, Man United, Sutton, Burnley. It was Lincoln, Burnley, wasn't it, back in the day? Chelsea could dominate, but may struggle to take chances. That's what I'm saying, Will. That's what I'm saying. We'd probably dominate possession. We normally do have a good hold of possession, which is what I like. But most of the time, it's just playing around the back, playing through the middle, getting to the edge of the box, and then going back again. That's the only thing that sort of irritates me, is that we get it into a good area and then we go back again. We don't try and get it into the box because they don't want to lose the ball and they don't want to sort of give the other team for a chance of a counter, which is understandable. But at least if you don't shoot, you don't score. You stop trying to walk it into the net. Like, that's what Chelsea have done so much over the last 2 to 3 years, trying to walk the ball into the back of the net. But taking our chances is the important thing. Mate, I've been talking about it for the last 5-10 minutes. Like, taking chances is what wins you football matches. That's the bottom line with football. If you don't take your chances, you don't win football matches. If you don't score, you're never going to win a game. Like, if you don't win games, you're never going to get to wherever you want to be. Like, you could draw every game of the season, go undefeated, and still go down. Like, that's the silly idea, you know. 7 says they want perfect goal. Just shoot. Yeah, just shoot, please. Just shoot. I'll take this chance to say that if there's anyone watching that hasn't subscribed, please do. It's free. I mean, why wouldn't you? We're talking football. If you're a football fan, we're talking football. It doesn't matter who you support. Like, I'm trying to be as well. It's a Chelsea show, but I'm trying to be as non-biased as possible. Yeah, you can go down with 38 points. They say that the magic point tally to stay up is 40. If you get 40 points, then you're almost like you're 99% going to stay up. Like you could draw every game of the season and still go down. That's how bad it is. I know in recent years it's been different where the bottom 3 or 4 teams have been very poor. But you know, that's what it is. Will or Yusuf, could you actually we'll get Will to do it. Could you put the channel link in the comments? That would be appreciative. And our finishing has been poor. That's been a story of our season, last season, yeah. Draw every game and win one, yeah. 41 points, mate. Wait, no, it wouldn't be 41 points, would it? It'd be 40 points, yeah. My maths was wrong there. I do apologise. Get your score predictions in the chat, guys. Be interesting to see how the non-Chelsea fans and the Chelsea fans think we're going to do. I'm going with a 2-1 win. Razza double, Razza brace, and then Kane will get a what's it called? They'll either go 1-0 up. Yeah, they'll go 1-0 up, or we'll be 2-0 up, and they'll get a late one. Yusuf says 2-1, and Will saying 2-0 Tottenham. I mean, I can understand why. I really, really can understand why. But I'm a Chelsea fan. No. Yusuf wants Brozier to start. Not against Spurs, mate. Not against. Don't put him in a big game like that. If we're losing 1-0 with like 15, 20 minutes to go, then bring him on. I have no problem with that. But don't start him against Spurs because he's not going to do much. 547 says, I'm going for 2-2, but possibly a late winner as they will be Spursy, hopefully. Yeah. Love the optimism. I love the optimism. I think that would be a good thing for him. I don't think starting him would be good. Bring him on. Yeah. Yusuf's understanding now. Bring him on as a sub if necessary. Like we brought him on against Everton and he did all right. I can't really remember much, but he did all right. See how he does. Give him experience. No, Will. If you had a player like that in your team, like let's just say you're going up against Manchester City, you're not going to start him, are you? You're going up against Liverpool. You're not going to start him. I mean, Newcastle might because he'd probably be your best one of your best attackers going forward. But you don't as a Chelsea. As a team like Chelsea, you don't start a player like that against a team like Spurs because you want to win. I'm not saying he's not good enough to get us goals and win us the game. I'm just saying that play the experience that we have already, who we know are on like Sterling, borderline world class. Havertz almost at that point, you know. It's just one of them things. We did with Matty Longstaff against Man United and he scored. That's because you had no one else, mate. That's when you had Steve Bloody Bruce. Of course. Big up Fahim. How you doing, mate? Good to have you in the chat. Gallagher to start, done well against Spurs last season. That I don't mind because Gallagher's a top-class player. I know that. So Yusuf says Conte will play counter-attacking football, waiting for a transition or a counter-attack from a mistake. That's how we played with Conte, with the 5 at the back. We did dominate most of the games, but, you know, we did what we could. We won the league. That's all I'm saying. Theme, let me know what you think the score is going to be over the weekend against Spurs. I've gone 2-1. Yusuf's gone 2-1. Will's gone 2-0 and 5+7 says 2-2. So it'd be interesting to see from another Chelsea fan's perspective what you reckon. So yeah. Gallagher brings a lot of energy. Might need that against Spurs. I want the Gallagher from last season. I don't want the Gallagher that played in pre-season because that Gallagher was absolutely shocking. Theme says 2-0. Where do we get the goals from though? I've gone for a Razza brace. Razza's gonna bring, I don't know what I was going to say there. Raz is going to bring his shooting boots, hopefully, and perform well like he did against Everton. But yeah, it's interesting to see how everyone thinks we're going to get on. Like, I've gone, we're going to concede, but we're still going to win the game. 5+7's gone similar, but he's gone for a draw. And Fahim thinks that we're not going to concede and keep a clean sheet, you know? I think Gallagher may need another loan. No, he don't. He's a baller, mate. He's already performed well enough at Palace that we know he's good enough to play for Chelsea. We know that. Georgie Penn, Koulibaly had a bold statement. I respect it. I don't know, maybe James or Sterling. Sterling, yeah, I've got a Razza brace, but Reece James, it's difficult to predict. You know. Any questions, guys? Anything you want me to answer? Anything you want me to rant about? I'll do like a rant before we end, because yeah, be good to find out what you guys want to know. You know. Yeah, Yusuf says give him the chance at Chelsea. No point in another loan. That's like we're giving Brozier another chance this season. So, you know, it is what it is. You know, like you've got to get these players in the team at some point. Here we go again with Fahim asking if Frankie De Jong's coming on. Oh, I saw a tweet earlier saying that Frankie De Jong spoke to Tuchel on the phone, and it wasn't looking good because Tuchel asked him to play wing back. And I thought, Jesus Christ, the wing back jokes continue. I like at the time I laughed a lot, but right now I'm thinking about it. It's like it's not that funny now. But hopefully, I don't know all the ins and outs, but I'll try. You know, I'll try and fill you in if I get anything. You know, I'll give you a DM or I'll post it on my Twitter or something. Have you got Sterling in your fantasy? No, I've got Nunes and Haaland, mate. Why would I need Sterling? FDJ would be great, and sticking 2 fingers up at Man United. Would it be 2 fingers like, you know, we need a consistent creator? We do. I don't know, you know. I don't know who, like, Havertz, maybe Mount, maybe Sterling, maybe, but then they were the front three on the thing, on Saturday, you know. I think he's staying at that toxic club. I don't know why he really wants to stay, but like it doesn't make sense. Why? They're not going to pay him. They're going to liquidate before they pay him. He's not going to get his money. Like, if he comes over here, he'll get paid every week. You know, like, just is what it is. Because you think he's going to score 2. But I also think Nunes and Haaland will probably score more and get more assists. So, yeah. Think about it, Will. Paqueta. You think we should sign Paqueta? Dunno. All right. Yusuf's going, and he'll be on at around 12 o'clock tomorrow. Yes, we'll be doing a stream at 12 o'clock tomorrow. So we'll see you then, Yusuf. Make sure you get a good night's sleep after your flight today, and eat some food. Definitely eat some food. But yeah, Fahim, you want Paqueta. That's interesting. You want Paqueta, but Arsenal also want Paqueta. If I'm Paqueta, I'd rather go to Arsenal. Ah, yeah. Paqueta as the creator, yeah, okay. If let's just say I'm Paqueta, right? And I'm being given 80 grand a week, or let's say 100 grand a week of both Arsenal and Chelsea, or 130, yeah, from Newcastle. I'm not going Newcastle. I'm going to play for either Arsenal or Chelsea because they've got European football, and we know Paqueta is good enough to play European football. You've been saying this for weeks, and he was in Newcastle wearing a Newcastle shirt, yet nothing came about it. Nothing's happened. Like, I've seen more links for him going to Arsenal than, you know, than Newcastle. The Brazilian 3. I don't care, mate. I honestly don't care. We've got Bruno will convince him. That's not how it works, man. That is not how it works at all. Does not work like that, mate. But yeah, I mean, I think we'll end it there. 25-minute chat about different things. Obviously, mainly about Spurs and that game coming up. We don't let Spurs win at Stamford Bridge. We don't let Spurs. If I say that enough, we won't actually lose, you know. If Newcastle don't sign Maddison, they're going in for Paqueta. Also, City want him if Silva leaves. Oh my God, Paqueta's got a lot of choices. If he goes to City, though, he won't get as much of the game time as he would at Newcastle, Chelsea, or Arsenal, you know. Like, Maddison would be Newcastle would be a good fit for Maddison because Leicester want a lot of money for him, and that's why I think. Sorry, I thought I had a blood nose there. That's why I think he won't go, but he would be a great fit for Newcastle. Newcastle are probably going to finish above Leicester this year. Like Leicester were an up and coming team. What, finishing fifth, 2 to 3 years on the bounce, you know. So Maddison, if he wants to play more European football, if he wants to win more trophies, he needs to leave Leicester. Leicester aren't the club they were between 2016 and 2020. As much as I hate to say it, they're not that team anymore. But yeah, right, yeah, that will end it there, and we'll thank you everyone for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your best mates. Tell your nan. Get your nan to subscribe. All the subscribers count at the end of the day. On the road to 50 at the moment, and we'll see you guys later.